Happy GYOKERES Day, folks. People, Deluded, I'm back again. We've waited, and technically we're still waiting. But good things those comes to those who wait. Arsenal fans, we've been more than patient. Everyone, just relax, man. GYOKERES is an Arsenal player. Just wait until the announcement. Wait till you see all that jazz, people. And yeah, man, coming to a stadium near you. It's scary for the whole Premier League, not for us. We finally got a gun, man. You just slap me at Eze, make sure Saka stays fit. GYOKERES, you do what we brought you to do. All the players who have been in good form or have previously been in good form, obviously make sure you got your correct boots on for next season. And let's put our best foot forward where the Premier League's concerned. We know what Liverpool have done. We know what they're signing. We know City want to hit back. And we know that in the last 3 years, we have finished second in the Premier League. The good, bad, the ugly, that's the bottom line. So how do we get over the line? A lot of it is centered around recruitment. A lot of it is tactically for Mikel Arteta to address our shortcomings and obviously evolve, essentially. And then maybe, just maybe, there'll be a parade in Islington, people. But yeah, better yet, big up you lot on Twitch. Of course, shout out to you lot on YouTube. Please make sure you're smashing the like button, join the discussion. It's always a pleasure to be here with you lot, people, wherever you lot are. And again, my mother gave me manners. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, in some cases, good night. Now, my regular viewers will hear that I say that on a frequent basis. Fun fact, when I go good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night, my hands are under the table and I'm doing that, people. So yeah, I don't know why I shared that, but I did, people. So away from the nonsense, what are you lot saying, man? Smash the like button, guys, as you're coming in. Appreciate you. Are you a mod? Because if you're not a mod, I'm violating. Let's go on the YouTube community tab. Let's change that because you're here all the time. There you go, mate. Welcome to the first team squad. Welcome to the first team squad. I have seen the Gabriel Jesus news, people, and I must admit, I have called for tough decisions. I have called for unpopular decisions. I have said, well, football's always going to have an element of sentiment. There can be no time for sentiment. You can't just sell everybody and bring everybody in, but we all know the issues, whether you're good but not quite good enough, whether you've got injuries, whether the wages, whether we like you, but you're not shaping up into what we need to do. Again, time waits for no one. And obviously, I think where you look at the 2022-23 season, apologies, life came at us very quickly. Since then, it's sink or swim. Couple man have been able to swim, and then unfortunately, they've sank. People like Saka are swimming strongly. The Gabriel Jesuses, the Zinchenkos of this world, I can't begrudge you lot because you lot did help us get here. You did change our lives in that first season. Those first 6 months from Gabriel Jesus were amazing, but unfortunately, yesterday's luck don't pay today's rent, people. So there's that, and there's also obviously it's not just Gabriel Jesus and potentially Zinchenko. Gabriel Jesus, who there's rumors around contract termination and going back to Brazil and all of those things. You've had Gabriel Jesus. You probably throw Zinchenko into that mix. Kieran Tierney, Aaron Ramsdale. There's a bunch of Tomiyasu. There's a bunch of them. And moving into next season or seasons at this moment in time, owing to Martinelli's lack of kicking on, that's one you're going to watch. Kai Havertz, obviously, there's a lot to be said, but again, he's on big wages. A big one, and I don't want to see it, and I don't think it'd be a thing because I'm backing our captain to get back into form. But Martin Odegaard, there is that element, people, really and truly. So yeah, Berta is on another level, and we've said before, man, like obviously we will need to bring in players. You look at the last 2 summers, away from us needing to just get over the line and win stuff, there clearly is an element of, I don't want to say balancing books and sell to buy and stuff, but there's got to be something with Arsenal essentially doing one in, one out. I think the club want to get money into the football club, if I'm honest with you, which you saw with a lot of sales. And I think there'll be an element of that. As much as I like Berta, as much as I like what he's done at Atletico Madrid and his experience, and he's shown us his ability to pivot, get things done, when to stick to his guns, like this kind of dragged out GYOKERES thing where we're obviously victorious. There is clearly an element from the Cronkies to employ this guy, because you look at Arteta and Edu, they kind of cleaned up the previous regime and the contracts and all that mess. For one reason or another, we're kind of in that again, people. So yeah, I think Berta has come in to do that. And you look at, before you look at what he's done in his homeland of Italy, what he's done at Atletico Madrid, he comes from a financial background. So there is kind of that element, man. So it'd be interesting to see what's going on. Give Arteta, Rodrigo and Eze, he'll give us the Premier League. I don't think we're going to get Rodrigo and Eze, man. You know, either or is going to be quite techie. I would throw all my eggs into the Eze basket just because it's not that you couldn't get Rodrigo. I just think, again, kind of what I've just been waffling about, you know, the whole contract stuff on paper right now, you're still paying Gabriel Jesus' wages, you're still paying Kai Havertz's. GYOKERES is probably going to be on something decent. Saliba and obviously Saka, we want to commit them to something. You know, at this moment in time, Zinchenko and obviously Zinchenko and Reece Nelson on 100 grand a week. Martinelli's on something decent. You know, obviously you've seen new contracts for Wanyeri and Miles Lewis-Skelly. They're not going to be breaking the bank, but there's obviously rising costs in that regard. And that doesn't mean we can't bring in Rodrigo, but Rodrigo's going to have to be one of your top earners. So I do think Eze's probably on 100 grand already. Eze's going to be on something decent. He is going to cost a lot of money, but not in comparison to Rodrigo. And I just feel it's easier to get Eze. I'm not saying Eze wants to kick up a fuss, but there must be some belief at Crystal Palace that whether it's Arsenal or someone else, for a number of years, and mainly this season, with him having 2 years on his deal, with him being 27, that he could probably move on. Of course, he's got a release clause. He's got some element of an attraction to Arsenal because he used to be here. Obviously, the whole London factor, a bunch of England players here. Again, I think Rodrigo would change our lives. I think that's an upgrade on the left-hand side. But for me, you can kind of... It's not that you can't see what Rodrigo's going to do, but it's going to sound stupid. But it's like, for me, it would be a case of we've signed a good player, a great player even. He uplifts us in on the left-hand side. But then I don't know what I'm getting. Like, are you going to struggle with the Premier League? Are you going to need an adaptation period? Can you cope with it physically, which I think you can? Are you able to get the goals and assists? Because you can't always look at statistics, but that is an element of what we need. Eze, I think you can get goals in the Premier League. I think you can play in Odegaard's role. If Arteta wanted to, maybe there's scope to drop Odegaard or rotate in and out of Odegaard or drop one of Rice and Zubimendi and the other one that isn't dropped. You're the lone six and, you know, you've got eights mixing and blending. God forbid if something happens to Bukayo Saka, to have Madueke, the option of Wanyeri and even the option of Eze out there, and clearly slots in the left. And his skill set, he drives, he comes inside, neat little 1-2s, helps with breaking down play. Respectfully to Rodrigo, because I've obviously seen you make the difference numerous times for Real Madrid. Eze reminds me of Saka, and with the greatest of respect to Crystal Palace, because they have had Elise, they have had Mateta, and they did just win an FA Cup, so everybody did their job. But what I mean by that is Saka's been making a difference now. His job is a bit easier because we've got some decent players now. Do you remember when it was just him alone? I think I've seen that with Eze. So I just think for me, it's best to just throw our eggs into the Eze basket. Something I've been saying for the last few weeks. And you've probably seen journalists, the most credible journalists, not that I know anything, but it's just common sense looking at Arsenal. You probably knew... Well, to be honest, we might have got to move on a bit more of what I'm about to say, but I think the club walked in to this market and said, in an ideal world, whether it's Sesko or GYOKERES, you get your striker, you get all these players that have come in. Obviously, it's dragged a bit during pre-season for a number of our players, but you get those guys in. Arteta, go work your magic. There's kind of a pause in terms of incomings. And then we focus on before we go for an Eze or anything else we need in the squad. Clearly got to sort out the futures of the Lokongas, the Reece Nelsons, the Fabio Vieiras. Insert any player here. There's some players that are past their sell-by date. There's some players that, if you were to get 10 Arsenal fans in a room, you know, 5 might say sell, 5 might say keep. It's more of a case of if Arsenal presented offers. And yeah, man, I do think Berta's giving it as good as he can. There's still a lot of work to be done, but he's juggling many plates, essentially. Incomings, outgoings, contract renewals, you know, shifting dynamics, you know, like with the Seskos and whatnot of this world. So, yeah, salute the Emperor. Happy Glock 14 day. Come on, any chance for Rafael? Ram, you got to put the bread down. You know, he seems like, well, we've all seen the images where he's wearing the Thierry Henry shirt. Seems like whenever he has a chance to speak about Arsenal, he's obviously, you know, sings our praises. I don't want to read too much into it, but you saw him and Declan Rice having a good old chat when we played them in pre-season. The last couple of pre-seasons, you know, when players, just before they go and rejoin their clubs, they do like their own kind of pre-season thing where you see, they always put it on their Instagram. They're at some random AstroTurf somewhere with a fitness coach. Declan Rice and Rafael do that. So I'm sure if we wanted to, we can get a glowing character reference, but it comes down to the money, bro. And for me, speaking about Eze is one thing. Speaking about Rodrigo is the other. If you tell me about Rodrigo, of course he can play all about the place, but I see that as a talismanic left winger coming into my football club, or someone that has greater skill sets than what we're lacking. When I look at Eze, he can do that, but you're a versatile kind of plug in and play player that can also do that. If you can't go and get Eze and you can't go and get Rodrigo, then you need to I don't know if it's someone that has the same stature. I don't know if it's a young development player, but purely the skill set. You need to make sure if you don't get Rodrigo, you don't get Eze. Those same said players come in, if you catch my drift. If Jesus leaves, should GYOKERES take the 9 instead of the 14? I must admit, when I did the video, I think I uploaded the video at like 2 in the morning. Big up you lot. I thought, oh, would there be a bit of a delay on the Glock 14 thing? Because then he could take the number 9. But if Gyökeres is truly committed, if we take what David Ornstein's saying and he's going to wear the number 14, from what we don't know Gyökeres because we ain't got him in the base yet, but from what we think we know of Gyökeres through just simply watching this saga play out and his mentality, if he's decided he wants the 14, he's going to take it. And at the end of the day, respectfully to Eddie and Ketia, you know, if there was a player we don't want anyone to fail, but if there was a player we badly wanted it to work out for, with all of what Gyökeres has done, you know, Gyökeres, do your thing. But even if it's not quite the Gyökeres we're thinking we're getting, surely he does better than Nketiah. And obviously the 14 shirt, if it's up to me, we'd retire it. The 14 shirt at Arsenal has a lot of, you know, a lot of praise, man, you know, and historically in football, you think of a 9, that's a gunman. 14 obviously has something here, but I stopped quote unquote caring about numbers when I saw Gallas wearing the number 10 and then Nketiah with the 14. More so Gallas, because at least Eddie and Nketiah, you're living your childhood dream. You did score a hat trick and you might not have had the ability, but I got a lot of time for you. Gallas was just, let's be nice. It's Gyökeres Day, innit? Let's be nice, man. And it's not even with Gallas, it's footballing ability. Like, it just, yeah, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say it. Do you think we will get Eze? I think we'll make a go of it. But Eze could want us as much as we want him. You got to put the money down. The deal has to make sense for Crystal Palace. It's either you activate the guy's release clause or you structure them payments in a way that makes sense. And naturally, you don't really see swap deals again, but you're seeing every sort of rumor that Reece Nelson could be utilized. Fulham are in talks with him. Of course, that correlates with what we see that Nelson apparently wants to stay in London. Palace, man, you bought Rob Holding from us, you bought Matt Turner, you got Nketiah, help us out one last time, throw in Zinni or something, man. So yeah, I love Gyökeres. He's going to be number 14. I want him as the number 9 so I can get Glock 9 on the shirt. I hear it. Bit selfish, but I hear it, my guy. Smash the like button, people. There's over 300 of you tuned in. Appreciative to you lot. We must can get 100 likes, man. Gyökeres and the rivals are crumbling and I love it. I hear you, P, but we need to stop watching what rivals are saying, man. We just need to focus on ourselves. I'm not saying you, but I do think football fans, and only speaking about the team I care about, which is Arsenal, there's too much caring about the rivals. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's right. But they're never going to talk, or very few rivals are going to talk from a place of honesty. Very few people love football like us. As far as they're concerned, they've either got their Spurs cap on, their Arsenal cap on, their United cap or whatever. So let's just focus on what we're doing. I hope Gyökeres strikes fear into rivals and all of that. I only care about what you're doing for Arsenal Football Club, man. Leao isn't good enough for this Arsenal squad. Bit harsh, because I don't think he's perfect. I do think fans overrate him, but if we signed him today, would I start you ahead of Martinelli? Yep. Would I start you ahead of Madueke off that left? Yep. Would I start you ahead of Trossard? Yep. So, bit harsh, really, if I'm completely honest, man. Bit unfair, man. Bit unfair. Got to be fair to the guy, man. But he does have, I do think he's a bit hot and cold. Big up yourself, Manny. Will Palace take Reece after they took Eddie? I mean, no one put a gun to their head to go and buy Eddie and Nketiah, you know, so hopefully. And I was thinking about this yesterday. I know I'm not making this up, but I'm sure the last time we played Crystal Palace at the Emirates, Eddie and Nketiah tried to score a bicycle kick in it. I don't know why I remember that. Broski, I hope we get Eze. DG, I heard Eze's release clause will expire on Thursday. Well, it makes it even tougher. And even that, for Crystal Palace, they've got a decision to make, because obviously, they could sell. We all know January period is difficult, but they could sell Eze this summer. You know, they could sell him this summer to someone else. They could sell him in theory in January, even though I don't think that will happen. But they've got a decision to make. You know, you just won an FA Cup. He's got 2 years left on his deal. He's 27 at the moment. Everyone will have him, but next year you've got a year left at 28. Other clubs might do something. If he runs down his deal at 29, you're not getting anything. In which, obviously, if you keep him, it's great. He might want to stay, but there's that, and there is that sense, I guess, from Eze that I want to take the next natural step in it. It's like what we're going to face with Saliba when he's off there with France and all those kind of things. I'm sure you're speaking to the French players. Like, it's a bit like Declan Rice. When Declan Rice is at West Ham and he's speaking to this one at this bigger team and that one, you want to play in the Champions League and all of those things. So it is something to consider, man. But that makes it difficult, man. Makes it very difficult, man. Makes it very difficult. Don't be stingy with the likes, people. We are not going for Leao. Since we signed Madueke, Eze is the last player we may sign this window. I must admit, I do think that's the case, man. I do think that's the case. I would love Nusa personally, but I understand if people don't see him as a main man, or I think it's too early. They're saying 40 million, though. It's not that I don't want it, but if you got 40 million for him and you sell some players, you might. For me, I can't lie, man. You don't know me. I love the young players and the stars of tomorrow, and I do think you need to bring me something like that if you don't get Eze and Rodrigo or either one. But I I kind of want some right now players, if I'm honest with you. Zubimendi screams right now. Gyökeres the same. Eze the same. I know he's 23 and there's a lot of years in the legs of Madueke, but at the end of the day, you're 23, not a little boy no more. So hopefully we get a tune out of you. I'm not going to say you're the main player, but yeah, and we finished second in the last 3 years. Let's just confirm what we need to confirm, man. If we can get 10 for Jesus, that's a plus. His wages for the next 2 years, that's 34 plus million, would make for good business. It's true though, and I'm not against Jesus got him, but then could you argue? Obviously, bringing in Eze is one thing, but and we might feel a bit bullish about our side with Gyökeres and Eze, but in terms of depth and based on what we saw last season, God forbid, in terms of injuries, from a body's perspective, are we stronger is what I would ask. Because Tierney's gone, Jorginho's gone, Partey's gone, Gabriel Jesus could probably go. Hot take, I reckon Trossard's gone, especially if Eze comes in. Who knows? I wouldn't mind keeping Trossard, but I understand with the contract. Deluded, I like you, big up. I like watching your content. Tyrone, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, man. I like being here with you. Look, is what it is, man. Let me scroll all the way up. Smash the likes, as Ryan has said. Leao isn't a serious player. He plays like he's trying to impress gal. This guy, man. Need Eze 10 at the Emirates. I mean, the 10 shirts free. The 10 shirts free. Please, can you tell me why all players coming for our academy are now left-footed? God knows, man. There must be something in the water at Halem. But if you're left-footed, right-footed, as long as you're good enough, who cares? Just blowing up depth and balance. Love it. He's definitely interested in joining us. He's true, but and I know it's not the same, but Mudryk was interested in joining us. Louise was interested in joining us. Caicedo was interested in joining us, was doing the Instagram thing. They didn't necessarily get over the line. So it's the player can want to join us. We can want them as much as we want. You've got to agree with the one party that matters, which is Crystal Palace, which, again, I'm no financial accountant, but we should surely, even without outgoings, and we know, again, there's an element of that. Surely Eze's 68 million is not an issue, especially if they really want that 20 million paid in 3 installments. There are some rumors they want 45 up front, and then, you know, you look after the rest somehow. Honestly, who knows? It's a bunch of journalists just adding their own kind of spin on it. Thanks for the update. Is it true that Arsenal have submitted a 40 million bid plus Eze? For Eze plus Nelson. You hear that, but God, for who knows, man. Man said Eze, Wanyeri, and Saka, absolute cinema. It would be in it. And as Peter said, we will be watching Arsenal and Newcastle together, people. So, yeah, make sure you're there. Rodrigo can attack. Martinelli can defend. That's why Mikel Arteta will start him. We need a player that can do both. I hear it, but you can be taught to defend, man. Like, look at what's his name at PSG, man. People, that was someone that people have always criticized. They've never criticized Osman. That's his name. They've never criticized Osman Dembele's ability, but work rate and all that stuff. You've got to want to do it. That's a positive where Rafael's concerned as well, because if you want to do it, it's cool. Like, you can track back if you want to track back. It's how much do you really want to do it? No more contract termination. Sell him for something in case of Gabriel Jesus 9. Wait until he's fit. Don't appear that we're waiting for that though, man. And to be fair with you, I must admit, I did think I would only take rumors of Gabriel Jesus departing seriously, like when he is fit. But the club might be saying away from, and I'm not saying this right, but away from purely a tactical reason that, you know, Jesus is a decent player to have in the squad and all of that. It's just a chance to get the wages off the wage bill, if I'm honest. And I didn't think anyone would be interested in having him, especially when you're not fully fit, especially the age you're at now, especially obviously you've had 2 long-term injuries. Maybe we didn't think this is an opportunity that's just landed at our feet and we're going to take it. And for Jesus, the main thing is getting fit. The main thing is looking after your knee. But you've got a World Cup to try and think about, innit, really and truly. So maybe if you do go back to your homeland of Brazil, which is being reported, or whatever, there's that. And I know it's not the same, but from I saw us do that with Tomiyasu, which was probably a lot cheaper in theory to do, I do give a bit more fuel to the fire, really and truly. Can you see us buying Eze, then getting another player on a loan deal, as we haven't had a single loan player announced yet? Yes and no, because we've shown that we will do the loan thing, but there has to be a reason to do the loan thing. Cool, you bring in Eze. Who are you getting in on loan, and where are you? What position are they? Like, what are the reasons? I don't know if we're just gonna get someone on loan for no reason. Maybe on deadline day, you never know. I did see Leao's goal against Liverpool. Saliba could never go out like that. Picture if we had Berta for the last 5 years, it would have been mad wavy. To be fair, for someone that's been in the job a matter of months, you're doing what you need to do. Let's forget Rodrigo. I don't want to, but I'm on that. Should we cancel Jesus' contract and sign Isak, play 4-4-2, play Havertz as a left mid who inverts into the centre? Listen, Havertz for me has a role here, and Arteta's going to utilize him, and there's definitely something you could do. But I do think fans Why are fans so keen to force Kai Havertz into any starting lineup? Because surely, if your name is not Gabriel Magalhaes, William Saliba, David Raya, Bukayo Saka, Declan Rice, like, you're not a nailed on starter. Now, add on to some names to that. I think Miles Lewis-Skelly currently, obviously, I don't know if I said it, but Zubamendi. Why are we forced Odegaard will play under Mikel Arteta as long as he's fit? Why do we always force Kai into the side? I mean, you could do 4-4-2. I don't think Arteta will. I'm not really, I don't think the 4-4-2 is going to bang in the modern day, if I'm completely honest. This is the start of Arsenal being perceived differently in the transfer market. We're a tougher club to deal with now. I hope so. I hope so at the very least. Well, go on, DG. How you gonna let Sava win? Shout out Sava, bro. It's rigged. It's rigged. It's rigged. It's absolutely rigged, bro. Bro. The questions were shit. Arguing about nonsense. And to be fair, that was recorded quite a while ago as well. Like, it's nonsense. And to be fair, I hate that sort of content, man. Like, you know me, I hate all that. Oh, my club bigger than yours. My dad will be up your dad and everything. But yeah, man, it was good fun. Big up Sava, man. I know we hate the team he supports, but he's one of the good ones. Berta is on another level. Yo, DG, saw you on the Sunsport giving some good arguments. Appreciate that. I'm surprised it's come out now. That was a few months ago still. Like, more or less kind of the period when the season was done, when the season finished. So yeah, like and subscribe, people. Like and subscribe. Big up yourself. DG, check the date of our first fixture, then check the T14B day. Fair play. Fair play. Fair play. Let's go, Kadeem. Let's go. Apparently 3 p.m. announcement. Fingers, toes, everything crossed, man. Everything crossed, man. It's calm though, man. Everyone just breathe. It's done, man. I'm good, man. It's always how you feel about Arsenal, never how you do it. So I appreciate you, my dude. Rodrigo wants 300k in wages plus private jet and limo for his associates to travel for negotiations. I mean, wouldn't you? I just hope Berta can sell players for good prices. We can't be the worst selling team with Berta as a sporting director. I'm probably glancing into the future, but I don't. Obviously, we have to do things our own way, but naturally, I think there's a couple of steps. The one thing I would want is, which, I mean, this would only happen if the Cronkies want to do it. We need the multi-club structure. There's no way around it, rightly or wrongly. And I know there's a lot of question marks over it, but City have the City group. Chelsea got a bunch of things. It allows you some wiggle room. And again, it's a bit immoral, but it allows, you're seeing Strasbourg buy young, talented players. They're going to rock up at Chelsea. I think we need to do that. There's obviously loan opportunities with loaning out players. Our academy. It's one thing us waffling about the Miles Lewis-Skellys, the Sakas, the Wanieris, the Max Daumans. What about the ones that don't make it? What about the ones that, like an Iwobi, an Eddie Nketiah, or a Smith Rowe, like guy Nelson, even like guys Balogun, like guys that become decent, but they might be in the first team for a couple of years, but they can't do the distance. We need a bit more of that, and we need to obviously sell them at decent fees. And I would also say as well, I know we've got Marley Salmon, and then again, very young player, tech time with it, but I think we need to just bring through players. Like, you look at Chelsea and City, it don't really matter what position these young players play in. They're going to come through and they're going to make money. We all know at our club, it's probably more filtered around centre mids and more the Wenger-y sort of players. Like, when we do see defenders come through, it's an accidental thing. Not even accidental, but Miles Lewis-Skelly was a midfielder. We love him at left back. He's obviously become a left back. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, the same logic. Only difference with him is that, one, Miles Lewis-Skelly is a bit more rounded and he ain't chatting shit on Instagram like Maitland-Niles. So you get where I'm going. We get that Bellerin as well used to be a winger. So there's some next steps, if I'm completely honest, man. And we need to get young players, like someone like Martinelli, for example. We got him for 6 million. Now, he's obviously repaid that a tenfold. But let's just assume we never saw the good, bad, and the ugly of Martinelli, and that 6 million turns into, let's just say, 12. You can't go wrong making a profit. We do need to get away from ripping up contracts, kind of just accepting whatever's thrown our way because of the wages, etc., etc. Not every signing is going to bang, but what wage you put them in, what they were brought for, it affects your ability to live, really. Eze has been left out of Crystal Palace's kit photo shoot. Heard that for a while, but we've seen that before. You've also seen players. I remember Thierry Henry was in our kit launch and then he cut. So I wouldn't take too much stock in that. I can't see us getting the value for Jesus. So I think we should try to get Isak to stay another season with Newcastle going next season. Granddaddy Gooner, I think we have to give up on Isak. And to be fair with you, I think his name's Craig Holt. Shout out to him. He's a Newcastle journalist or a journalist that kind of covers Newcastle. He uploaded a 15-minute, don't ask me why, but it was 3 a.m. Obviously finished putting out a video for you lot, and I just watched it, and obviously it kind of painted a picture, and it's not just obviously Isak, I'm sure, Liverpool or someone else, he wants to make movements and whatnot. But he kind of added some layers to it, and he was saying things like, I think they got Paul Mitchell in prior to Paul Mitchell coming in. Isak had a new contract on the table. They kind of pulled that. This was all last season. They pulled that kind of offer off the table. So naturally, he's a bit vexed, and he painted a timeline. And if you remember, Isak had a great season. But you remember the first, I don't know, 5 to 6 games, maybe more, maybe less of the season last year. People were saying Isak, he's in bad form and all of that. He kind of said it happened around then. So there's a lot of moving parts, man. We can't get Rodrigo. If we can't get Rodrigo, better yet, I'll take Gordon from Newcastle or Leao from Milan. I mean, you can't see them losing both Isak and Anthony Gordon. And I actually think you got more of a chance of getting Rodrigo than Anthony Gordon, such as the relations apparently between Arsenal and Newcastle. Newcastle have been heavily mismanaged for the last year or so. Eddie Howe had to cut his holiday to work on transfers for his brother. And even that, why is his brother there? What's his brother doing? And it does feel like, I don't know, man. It seems like there's too many chefs in the pot spoiling the meal at Newcastle. Isak is a myth. Eze is more feasible. We get Eze, the transfer window turns from a 7 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10. I can't lie. In terms of incomings, it'd be 10 out of 10 with, for me, Eze, Zubimendi, and GYOKERES. But I'm only going to start giving it anything above an 8 if I see some outgoings, man. Like, and some decent fees, because I'm not, all right, cool. Tommy needed to rip up the deal. Gabriel Jesus, rip up the deal, whatever you want to do. But can you get some, can you pivot Reece Nelson into some Eze deal? Can you get a decent fee for Zinchenko, quote unquote, as difficult as it might be? Arsenal has been the most profitable club going for some time now, and apparently being bad at selling is what's stopping us from signing more talent. I don't buy it. Splash the cash now. Isak is injury prone. I'm happy we are getting GYOKERES other than getting someone for 120 million and then having them injured and unavailable for important games. But we do have the money, but we don't have the money to be talking 120, 130, all of that sort of stuff. Well, that's not what we're prepared to do for Isak in comparison to everything else. I do think the Isak injury stuff is prevalent. He's had injuries in his career, but when has he last had an injury hit campaign? I do think it's a lazy narrative that's still being peddled out. Eddie Howe is not an exciting manager. That's why people want to leave, and Newcastle won't bang with him. To be fair, he might be the one that sets the foundations, but again, Newcastle are not, they're a massive club, but they're not Arsenal, they're not Liverpool, they're not Chelsea, they're not what City's been under Pep, they're not those kind of clubs. This could ironically be their Coutinho moment with Isak. And again, especially for foreign players, it's not to say just because we're in London, it is what it is. But London, where Arsenal, Chelsea are concerned, is for foreign players, that's a big attraction. Now, obviously, Liverpool has heritage. It's got a great project, not too far from Manny. There's a couple other people around there. It was always going to be the case at Newcastle. Like, there had to be something in the back of their mind when they bought him for X amount of money before he even kicked the ball at Newcastle, that he might succeed and the bigger clubs will go for him as whatnot. As long as GYOKERES smashes, it will be Isak. As long as Isak works, no, I don't care, man. I would much rather get Isak, but I hear what other people are saying. The depth in the squad hasn't really changed. All we've done is brought in what we've lost. We're gonna have to make it work, man. Call me crazy, but I'm not afraid of Isak going to Liverpool. Don't know where it is, but this head turn feels rushed by him. Get me Eze, and let's challenge, take the fight to these Scousers. At the end of the day, I'm not going to lie, it does send shivers down you based on what Liverpool are doing. Isak is a great player, but at the end of the day, what we're going to do is sit around and cry. They're not invincible. They might as well closest be, but they're not invincible. That's literally us. Might as well. Because then what we're doing? Oh my God, City, you're going to hit back. Liverpool are great and they're doing a madness. Okay, that's great. But then what are we going to do? Be pussies. Because even if you want to talk about winning the Champions League, you're going to buck teams where you're going to be scared. So then we might as well just pack up and just be happy to get top 4 then. Appreciate you, Henry. Can we convert Kai back to CF, or is he forever a striker? Do you mean centre mid? I mean, he'll get his fair, love for the super chat, by the way, get his fair share of game time at centre mid, but I'm not on it, man. I can't lie to you. I'm not on it. I'm not on it. We can mix and blend and you can do jobs and whatnot, but like, come on, man. And Kai does have a big role to play for us this season, but I don't want to just fit people into the side for the sake of it, give people game time for the sake of it. Let's get over the line. Like, I want GYOKERES starting 9 times out of 10. Obviously, if he needs to be rested, if his form is lost, if Arteta's found some tactical stuff he could do, then great. But I don't want people getting games for game's sake. I don't want to start people for game's sake. Like, we get over the line. And we have to be cruel, unfortunately, to be kind. Give Burr his flowers for the incomings. Hopefully, we negotiate some outgoings as well. BG, there you have it. Wasn't Stan Kroenke looking to buy some Brazilian club? You need to look a bit harder, man. Listen, you're in America. Go and do the Colorado Rapids thing. Go and get us a little club in France. Go and do what you need to do in South America. Shit, do something in Portugal, because then even that, say you go and find a great young player in Brazil that don't qualify for a work permit here. You park him off over in France or Portugal. He develops. If he develops and he's reintegrated to our first team, great. If not, horrible. I don't know why I think this, but it reminds me of Alex. Do you remember the one that was at PSV? Now, he weren't exactly young, but he was at PSV, owned by Chelsea. He was owned by Chelsea, flogged off to PSV, couldn't get game time. They brought him in happy as Larry. These are the things. And we also need to revamp the loan system as well, like, for our young players. There's better things we got to do, man. Hey, big up Fam Zone TV. Make sure you're following D and Dean as well. Let them have Isak if they want. God has his hardest battles for his strongest soldiers. It's true, harder the battle, the sweeter the victory, but let's win something now, man. Let's win something now. The way the teams have been performing is just as much a pull for players than Berta's work alone for me. Yeah, Arsenal does have an attraction, and there is that carrot of getting over the line, but imagine how much more we'd be attractive if we actually showed we'd win stuff, because you're winning, you're in London, you got the Arsenal heritage. Yeah, cool. We might not be the most dominating team, and you do have City, you do have Liverpool, Chelsea are making a lot of noise that's too hard to ignore, but there's something here, really and truly. Kai still needs game time to keep a sign of value, so clubs show interest in him next season's transfer. He'll get games, but I don't want starts for starts purposes. Like, Eze will open us creativity. The number of chances we will create for the forwards with Saka, Martin, and Eze in the team will be ridiculous. We are a title team, believe. I mean, I can believe that we can challenge for a title because we've been second. I can't. I'm not saying you're saying this, but I do think fans like to just say things over and over again. We need to become a winning team if people want me to believe. Because you're a good team, show me you're a great team. Show me you're a winning team. I'll tell you, you're a good manager. Show me you're a great manager. Show me you're a winning manager. Because unfortunately, anytime it's been sink or swim, and I'm not here to be positive or negative, it's just we've buckled. We've had some courageous nights, some courageous moments, times to look back in pride. We've enjoyed the journey. Now it's about time to reach the destination. I feel sorry for the players. When you had that unexpected first title challenge, when you ran it down to the year before the last year, when let's have it right. None of these players have hidden. We can criticize their ability, you can get onto them and all of that stuff, but not a single player is hidden. People have played with injuries. Young players have handled it. Players that we don't think are good enough have stepped up. When you remove the romance, Marino is playing up front against Real Madrid. This ain't sustainable. Yeah, it's been a bit of a fairy tale, but do you get it? So that can't be in vain, because there is the element of you've had 3 golden years. And for me, why I'm a bit harsher now is because, okay, first 2 years, you're fighting City. City are a juggernaut. If City ever fall off, we're going to be there. What happened last year? City fell off. We were second. He was first. Broski, you're watching Liverpool. They might not be as invincible as people think they are. They're a good team. I wouldn't say invincible. I don't think it's sustainable to go unbeaten in the Premier League. But the thing is, you need to show that you're a team that's getting 90 to 100 points. You could win it with less than 90 points, but that is the ballpark figure. We've seen teams get 90 points and not win the league. That's the ballpark figure we need to be looking at from the 38 games. You can't have 14 draws. I'm not even saying forget the losses, because we need to review that, but 14 draws. God knows how many points lost from winning positions. That is the be-all and end-all to a degree. And if we put our best foot forward last summer, we had a bigger squad and certain things didn't happen, who knows what we'd have been celebrating. But that's all coulda, woulda, shoulda. It's now time to actually realize that. Because at the end of the day, Arteta ain't really got a leg to stand on if you don't win the Premier League or win some sort of silverware. And I genuinely think I think a lot of Mikel Arteta apologists, you can't rate him as much as I do, and you can't rate him as much as you say you do, because if you think he's so innovative and he is good and he is innovative, he is a good coach, shown big bollocks taking this job, then you need to ask why we're not getting over the line. In the same way, we all rate Saka, right? We all think he's one of the top 5 in his position. Make him not score double figures. We're going to ask questions. Yeah, if you want to sit at the big boy table, you need to accept what comes with it. It's winning now. You're on 15 mil a year. You've been provided a lot of luxuries that previous managers at this club haven't had. You've been here for 5-6 years. You've done well. Some tough moments, some good moments. Get over the line now. Because then what are we doing? As Henri said, Liverpool look like they want to win in these tough games, whereas Arsenal look like they're trying to hold on to the lead or draw, stick or twist settings. And that's something I must admit, I think that is more on Mikel Arteta, because sometimes I don't think he gambles enough. Now, obviously, if we gamble in games, we could obviously end up losing. One game that makes me think about that is ironically against Liverpool, because I remember it a lot. Like, I remember the squad was injured. We weren't really happy with the team going into the game. And I remember in game, like doing the watch along, like or whatever, or the review, like a lot of us were criticizing Arsenal, like not gambling going forward. And the one time we tried to gamble, what happened? Salah scored the equalizer. Discipline needs to be a big factor for us this season. Facts, man. Big up DG. With the arrival of Gyökeres, a natural striker with real movement, teams will no longer low block and double up on Saka with the addition of Noni and Eze. It's long for teams. It is long for teams. I still think they're going to do the low block stuff because we haven't proven that you do your low block, we cut you open, and we're not really going to see that until the season plays out, which is why I keep saying it's all fun and games. I like Gyökeres. I want Eze. A lot of us get a lot of, like, for us to get to the next level, a lot of it is around recruitment, right? But also, Arteta needs to go back to the drawing board tactically, because I don't think I learned anything tactically from us last season positively. The 2 years prior to that, great attacking football, very solid defensively. There's a bit of regression, stagnation, give or take, whatever way you want to throw it. We just didn't kick on last year. So, yeah, man. And don't get it twisted. There are times, like, we need to just, we've won 1-0, just relax. But also, we need to go for it. We are predictable. And that's the thing. Arteta lives or dies by his sword. And then that's why you typically have seen subs in the 85th minute when there ain't really no time to affect it. Anyone who doubts Leao, please watch his performance against Liverpool today. The low block will go even lower now that we have a striker. But then they're just going to invite more pressure. I think Arteta may switch from a 4-3-3 to a 4-2-3-1. Liverpool won the league when everyone fell off. They're not really that good. I hear that, but that's the same crap we heard with Arsenal, even though we didn't win the league. Oh, Arsenal only top of the league in 2022-23 because everyone's crap. Then we're going to fall off and everyone's going to improve. The next year, we're only up there because everyone's rubbish. I hear that, but that ain't Liverpool's problem. Like that, I'm not saying you're saying this, Social, but that seems to be something that is held in football regards. That is all the other 19 teams' problem. Like, you only won the league because everyone else was crap. That's your business. Get your money up, not your funny up, because Liverpool walked the league. So why were you lot a level below of a team that just changed their manager, a talismanic manager in that, like a larger than life figure, a legend for Liverpool in Klopp and the market they had? Why were they able to do that? But yeah, I wouldn't say they're invincible and a super team in that, but maybe they know that and they've obviously gone about it in the transfer market. Now, the caveat to that is you actually a few teams you'd imagine should be fighting for the league. Arsenal, definitely not Arsenal, Manchester City, Liverpool, Chelsea an exception because they got more money than sense, but there's a lot of turnaround, some more than others, but there's also that how do the new players gel in with their teammates? How do they gel? Did they get up to speed? And all of those things, because this is now what we're going to see with Jurgen Klopp on Slot's Liverpool. There might be elements of what Jurgen Klopp's doing, but now you're going to see what Slot's Liverpool's about. And I don't even buy that, you only won it with Slot's team. Who cares? I mean, with Klopp's team, who cares? Aside from trophies, if Arteta lays a foundation for academy first team like a Barca one, he'd be a legend. That needs to be a remit from everybody at the club, though. That just can't be him, really. I'm having Leon. I hear that the draws were more from our weak finishes last season, though. It's true. But I do have a pet peeve of that, because I do think there's a lot of, ultimately, we didn't kill teams. We beat them up. We didn't take the breath out of their lungs type of thing. But then it was also down to defending, and there was also games where we're on top, we're doing all right, but we're not taking our chances. We're shooting ourselves in the foot. The other team scored. We've kind of rescued it. But I do believe that. So this is where Gyökeres, if them 14 draws even become 7, what conversations are we still in? It probably ends the same way with Liverpool, but they're not walking the league. It weren't a title race. It wasn't. So I do hear that. But those 14 draws, man, I want to stop talking about them. Like, bloody hell. A lot of it's down to defending as well. At the end of the day, if you go 2 goals up, we all know, as cliche as it is, every game's difficult in the Premier League. Everything's a cup final. 3 points are on the line. We all know the buzzwords and those kind of connotations, right? But we also know 2-0's a dangerous lead. And forgive me for all of them, I keep thinking about Aston Villa. To be fair, Aston Villa, the Emirates, during Arteta's era, like, there's been sometimes we've been bopped, you know. Like, it might not have been Mikel Arteta, but I'm sure they rocked up once. They had like Ross Barkley, Grealish. They absolutely bopped us off the park. Then there was obviously that year where, you know, people will think about Zinchenko. And last year, 2-0's a dangerous scoreline. If you go 2 goals up, bro, it's unacceptable that you haven't got 3 points. You either kill the team, score 3-4, which I do believe are part of that in the game because I can remember it vividly. But a lot of it is down to defending, not necessarily the defenders, but game management. Game management is a part of defending, right? how you look after the ball, when you play, when you take the sting out of games. Unfortunately, I know you only care when your team does it, but how you time waste and all these things. And we all know Arsenal under the microscope. Again, people said it was dark arts from Newcastle when the ball was out of play, record timing at the Emirates. But then they start doing stop clocks when we're taking throw-ins and all those kind of things. You're right, though, man. But I do think, a lot of it's recruitment. What have you said? I hear that the draws were more from our weak finishes last season, though. GYOKERES and Noni alone add 5 more shots per game. It's got to correlate to goals. This is when we can fully judge Arteta because this is his first proper window. Come on, that's the one thing I disagree with. Arteta's first proper window. Come on, man. You've been here 6 years. He's been here 6 years, Emmanuel. Come on. It might be the first window as a club. We've addressed all the areas, whether we rate the players or not, but we've addressed all the areas. Again, we ain't brought in Eze, but there's been previous windows. Let's just assume Madueke is going to play left wing. There's been previous windows where we need a striker, we need a left winger. We probably only get one. We're getting both. And I'm not even necessarily big up Berta, but I'm not praising the club for it because you've left yourself no wiggle room. You should have done a lot of this last season, etc., etc. This can never be your first proper window. If you just walk through the door and you're working with Socrates and Mustafi and this one and that one, no. Come on, that's a cop-out. How? You've been here 6 years and this is your first proper window? Where since you've been here, we've been ripping up contracts. You spent 45 million on Gabriel Jesus. Got to, not everybody unanimously agreed with bringing in Merino. As the Athletic said, 65 million on Kai Havertz, shattered our transfer record for Declan Rice. Have pursued Zubamendi vigorously for a few years. First proper window, you're better than that, man. You're better than that, man. You're better than that. You're better than that. You're way, way better than that. This ain't your first window. This ain't his first rodeo, bro. What's Ikatike backwards? He's a backward step for Liverpool. I see what he did there. Arteta has had his way for too long. All those windows were geared to give him what he wants. AC Milan is doing it to Liverpool now. It is pre-season though, man. This ain't his first proper win. This ain't his first proper rodeo. We're almost at 70k, Ashley. I think we got 900 to go. Big up you lot. He was part of this. The players need to step up and Arteta needs to stop playing faves. As a season ticket holder and one of my grandsons in the academy, I'll give him this season to see how he manages these youth. Verone, you're right. Like, again, I just think everyone's got to pull their fingers out. Arteta, the players, because once the window's closed, it's not Berta's problem anymore. Just get it done. Just get it done. As for academy kids, it's a bit of a techie one because I do think people want the manager to rotate, to play the same team, to play the experienced players, to give people debuts, get 3 points. And we all know it's not really going to work. Realistically, you probably see Dalman make his debut and get some minutes here and there. Don't think he'll be part of the first team like you're playing week in, week out. Miles Lewis-Skelly and Wanyeri, it kind of counts, but they're there. How much youth players are going to get opportunities? Happy birthday to Josh Nichols. He's someone that you never know could break through, but on the face of it right now, you've got Timber and White and actually Mosquera who can play right back. The pathway's blocked. He's 19. I actually believe he's a slow developer physically. Go find him a loan spell. The young goalies we've got, Tommy Setford, really, you shouldn't be Arsenal's third choice keeper next season. I hear that. You might play in the League Cup. You are training with Raya and Kepa, Spanish internationals. You are at Arsenal, but he needs to be exposed into the man's game where it's sink and swim, where you're playing in, I don't know, League One, Championship. You've got grown men trying to outmuscle you when you're trying to collect the ball from corners and managers' jobs are on the line and all those kind of things. I do think we're kind of slow to get to that. Many said Arsenal was just gambling the game against AC Milan, so why isn't Liverpool gambling them now? You have to take it out with Liverpool fans. Our season was poor last season. Injuries and not enough firepower. Really that simple. We stayed the same, stagnated. Get the firepower, get the depth, we'll be there. Social joints, tell them again. Football is a simple game sometimes, man. How many red cards do you reckon Granit Xhaka will get with Sunderland? I don't know, to be fair. Probably a decent amount. I am looking forward to the Tyneside derby, Sunderland versus Newcastle. Both of them, really. But I would say the one at Newcastle for Granit Xhaka, because I'm sure Newcastle fans will get onto him because he's playing for Sunderland anyways, but they'll remember his Arsenal links. DJ, I'm wondering why everybody is talking about Liverpool when Man City also make good signings. Pep's going to want to hit back, man. DG, what do you think it would take for us to get back into attacking football at the 2022-23? I don't fully want that back, if I'm honest with you, because I do think, including myself, we look at that year with Roastings. Yeah, we played blisteringly good football. But then, bro, everyone's forgetting there was bare games on knife edges, If we Came out the blocks firing in the first half, first 45 minutes, dreamland. Second half was knife edge or vice versa. So can we merge that attacking play with kind of how we defended the year before? I think a lot of it is centered around Mikel Arteta taking the handbrake off. And I know football's very structured, and a lot of it is down to Arteta moving the ball quicker, putting the players in situations where they can attack, maybe alleviating some of the defensive duties on a Bukayo Saka and getting more of it out of him in the final third. But I also feel the players have got to want to do that. Like, you've got to want to put the team on your shoulders. You got to want to move it a bit quicker. And I think there's got to be a bit more emphasis when we buck into a low block of scoring early. Because again, it's not always going to happen. But if we're playing a low block and the team's just filtered around, just keeping us quiet, walking out of the Emirates with a draw, if you score within those first 5-10 minutes, they can't. I'm not saying because you've put a ball in the back of the net, they're just going to start firing at us. But end of the day, if you want to be as attacking, if you want to be the most attacking football team in the world or the most defensive team, that's your business. You know, the beautiful thing about football is you still need to keep balls out the back of your net, and you need to put balls in the back of your opponent. So they're going to have to come and hit us. You make that a fight, it plays into our hands, man. So I think it'd have to be that, man. Don't care who Scousers buy. I just care who we have. Too much vapes round here, stalking other teams and crying about their buys is creep, soft boy behavior. Love your work, DG. Jimmy, appreciate you, man. You're going to ruffle a few feathers with that comment there, man. So, yeah, man, it is what it is. Arteta won a striker since his first window with Abraham, then Vlahovic, finally got Jesus, then he wanted Isak, and now finally got GYOKERES. This is finally a proper window. If you don't think this is Mikel Arteta's first proper window, I always say I don't tell you what to think, just think. So, yeah, man. I hate that handbrake word, thanks to Wenger. Dalman is 15. He's been given a look into life in the first team. He ain't going to get much time on the field this season. Maybe games, 4 or 5 goals plus. Maybe, sadly, youth transition and winning. To be fair, I expect him to make his youth debut. I expect him to play in the League Cup. But, yeah, is what it is. Come on, DG. You know every window Mikel Arteta had to shape with players he didn't ask. While City and Liverpool got players Klopp and Guardiola wanted. Not true. Who did? Okay, Mohamed Salah. Who did Klopp want? He wanted Julian Brandt. Who was he given by? Michael Edwards. What did Pep Guardiola say when Marmoush was signed? Club managers not getting their first choice target isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like, we wanted Koundé, we got Ramsdale. We got Ben White. He wanted Raya first time round. He got Ramsdale, we worked to treat you as all right. There was another opportunity to bring in Raya. Come on now, do the math. 6 years. 6 years. And man are saying this is his first window. What about all the players you did get? Because I like Calafiori. I don't think Marino is bad. I don't think Kai Havertz is as bad as people make out. But when you read the mouthpieces out of The Athletic, what do you hear? Not everybody unanimously agreed on these signings. Mikel Arteta pushed for them. A bit like Madueke this window. You cannot sit here in 2025. I think you lot are insulting your own intelligence as well if you genuinely think this is Mikel Arteta's first window. It's not. Just because you don't get your first choice target or whoever you want for whatever reason, it doesn't mean anything. You work to treat with Jesus. I don't really blame him for Gabriel Jesus because, unfortunately, what made Gabriel Jesus decline, it weren't even an Arsenal shirt. He was playing for Brazil and he just never had it. He just never got it back. At best, we should be seeing that Gabriel Jesus of the initial 6 months, but just criticizing his lack of ability to score. Come on, man. Come on. I appreciate the differences of opinions. I always say I don't tell you what to think, just think. But you're insulting your own intelligence, and you're gaslighting me to insult my own intelligence as well. I'm sorry, you're not going to gaslight me into believing this is Mikel Arteta's first window. What's going on? What is all that about? You didn't get Mudryk. You wanted to spend 70 million buffins on Mudryk. You got Trossard. We did a thing. Allow it, bro. Please allow it. You don't believe it deep down. You don't. First, this is his first window. Wow, a manager doesn't get his first choice target. And half of these players, we don't even know if they're ever going to be a club's first choice target. Come on, man. Liverpool getting scored. No one on set pieces this season without Magalhaes. I'm not sure. What do you mean by that? DG Saliba rumors getting stronger. Should we swap Saliba for Rodrigo if we lose him anyways? If Saliba has made clear he don't want to sign a new deal, then you've got to give fuel to the fire with that kind of trailer thought. Eze's not in the Palace kit launch. Uncle Scrooge, surely you're not Scrooge today. Zubamendi, Eze, Glock 14 will take us over the line. These guys are top additions to us, and Noni is a good signing too. I hope so, man. It's been a long time, man. And even if you got if you got Tammy Abraham, that would have been crap. If you got Vlahovic, that would have been crap. Jesus is better than them. There is that thing, I hear it. But if the club said you spent 45 million on Gabriel Jesus, we can't get Isak, rightly or wrongly. It's not too disfamiliar to agree with that trailer thought. Arteta was brought in for his coaching ability in the first place. Coach what you have, exactly. And some of the best players for our team, they haven't necessarily unanimously been, everybody's loved them when they've walked in. And some of the players were here already. And some of them that are not here, at a point, you got a tune out of them. So that's a cop-out, man. Like, it's absolute cop-out. As much as I like Arteta, there's always something else you need. There's always something. I think you're a very good manager. I think you're one of the best in the league. I think you got potential to be one of the best managers in the world. I think there's so much I've got to waffle about Mikel Arteta. There's so much I like about him. But because of that, I rate you highly. I need to get over the line now. I think we've just signed a Saliba replacement. I don't know, man. We'll have to see with Mosquera. Because if Saliba left tomorrow, I'm dipping into the market. Just switched over from Twitch. Come on, W's in the chat. Appreciate you, Pesa, man. Saliba ain't leaving. People really don't understand how high up Saliba and Gabriel play. We are beyond the high line. Look how others are handling high line. We are not the same. Can we get a few more likes to support the channel? Thank you. Appreciate you. What's your predictions this season? We get silverware. Why would Saliba sign Arsenal, don't win anything, and buy players like Havertz and Madueke instead of Eze and Gyökeres? When was we in for Gyökeres? Pardon me. Mosquera is not a Saliba replacement, guys. That's one of the maddest takes I've heard from this fan base. Let him kick a ball, man. And he's young. He's 21. Like, Saliba weren't the Saliba he is right now at 21. Magalhaes defo wasn't. If there's one area I trust Mikel Arteta, it actually is defenders. Because I've seen, I always believed in Timber from the jump anyways, but Timber, White, now Miles Lewis-Skelly, obviously the transformation of Gabriel Magalhaes when he walked in, it looked, whatever we've done with Saliba, since he's become like a proper Arsenal first team player, playing week in, week out, he's got better and better. But also the loans he went on and everything. So I think Mosquera will be all right, man. But I'd be wary. I hope if he rocks up and he looks like Saliba, we're laughing, innit? Because we dreamed of days like this. Even if we disregard Mosquera, we would have bit your arm off during this Emirates era for a one Magalhaes, one Timber, one Saliba, one Miles Lewis-Skelly. We can never downplay Ben White's contribution. And obviously, Kieran Tierney and Tomiyasu, big up the fallen soldiers. Now, excluding the ones that have obviously gone, we've got a decent little bunch, man. It's probably the best defensive, and big up Raya as well, probably the best defensive unit we've had during the Emirates era. Should they stay or should they go? Tony, I wish I knew what you was referring to, man. If Saliba doesn't sign, it's not the end of the world. Sell him next season. Decision to make. And if you're Saliba, you got a lot to think about. There's a World Cup. Real Madrid are probably in your ear. All those things. I'm pretty sure you're focused on Arsenal when you run off to France and you're with Mbappe and all these things. Maybe your head somewhat gets turned, man. We had 15-year-olds doing bits against Milan. Man got 100 million players looking spooky. We're not the same. Boy, it's dark. And I'm not going to lie, a certain team who's about to lose Isak, your manager saying, Arsenal got an advantage because they've been out here longer. Our players are fatigued. Making excuses in pre-season is crazy, where the game don't mean anything and there's penalties. Eddie Howe, we're on to you. I got a lot of time for Newcastle, but boy, thoughts on Openda. Thought he would have got a move, especially with Leipzig looking to get some money in. Where do the money come from for these top players? Declan Rice costs over 100 mil. If we want elite players, the money has to be there. Yeah, but we know how the club operate. Will Kepa stand well if Raya gets injured? God forbid. I'm not excited yet. God forbid David Raya gets injured. I've got more belief in Raya, mainly because of that penalty shootout and obviously what I've seen in Bournemouth, but I don't trust you, man. I don't know. Maybe it's because you was at Chelsea. Maybe it's because I just don't trust you. But big him up. We'll give him a chance. No one interested in Openda. He scored less than Sesko when Sesko was playing support striker. Yeah, kiss goodbye to the Openda thing. Arteta gets 100% credit for our defensive stability. Best I've seen at Arsenal since Adams/So. And I'm with that. And I like, when it's a bit of a hypocritical thing, because the things I moan about and the things you moan about, people, I agree. But I don't necessarily care that we're ultimately a very defensive side. I think we need that. I think there's a correlation with us having that and actually being better. We just need a bit of pizzazz now. We did that. It looks like we've hit a bit of a block. Like it's like we just need something new. The fans need it. I think the players need it. it's like we've been eating the same meal all season, isn't it? Or for the last 2 years, we just need something new now. Like there just needs to be fresh ideas and whatnot. And I'm sure he's gonna try. Hopefully it works out and it all comes together. Now, if we look at the transfer news and everything to date, it is Glock 9 day, people. Raise your glass. What? Oh gosh, that's a big shot. But yeah, what? Raise your glass. I bottled it now. Drew myself out. Oh gosh, fuck it, man. Happy Glock 14 day, folks. Firm that. All right. Damn. All right. Viktor Gyökeres and his family in tears when Berta congratulated them on a deal being complete. The players already held tactical discussions with Arteta about his role. I mean, you'd imagine he would have done that already. I must admit, I love all of that. You lot do your chat. Gyökeres, you deserve to smoke a cigar, man. You've done it all. Hand of Arsenal said the plan is to announce Viktor Gyökeres as a new Arsenal player today. If all goes to plan, God willing. Wait for my signal now. I hope so. But I don't think we're going to do it, you know. Like, the announcement video is probably going to take a hot minute. I hope so. I'm cool because I think he's an Arsenal lad. But I don't think we're going to do it. Maybe, you know, just announce it on Arsenal.com. Gyökeres is a gunner, and then maybe tomorrow we see a madness. Do you know what? Some of the Declan Rice is probably the best announcement video I've seen. There's been some other good ones. Do you know what one's underrated? A few years ago, William Saliba's, it got resurfaced. Is there anything else? Nope. I thought there'd be updates there. Pick him up, man. Big up your agent as well. Shout out your family as well. All of you lot did your part, man. Apparently, he could have had legal problems or did have legal problems with Sporting. Viktor Gyökeres entered into a legal dispute with Sporting, with his lawyers being forced to intervene due to his absence in pre-season preparation. So it did turn very ugly. There has been some rumors that he split up with his girlfriend and hasn't split up with his girlfriend. Don't worry, you got money. You're in London. Mikel Arteta, he just seems like everybody's getting girlfriends and or wives and getting them pregnant. Don't worry, Gyökeres, you'll be all right, man. You'll be all right in big bad London. There's Jones out here, man. Don't watch nothing. Viktor Gyökeres' transfer to Arsenal is set to be made official this weekend. You know what? Arsenal, F it. Announce it tomorrow. This is what kicked it all off on a Sunday. The Sporting striker is so serious about his move to the Premier League. He's ready to split with his girlfriend, Inez Egar, over the switch. He's set to complete the deal. Why? The Portuguese media have been fascinated by the relationship with the actress, which became public last season. There's been no official breakup between the pair yet. After she was spotted on holiday alone, it was claimed that the couple had already gone their separate ways. Apparently, this article claims that she is now fighting to restore the relationship, but faces an uphill task to do so. See, you thought he was bluffing. You thought he was bluffing, innit? Oh, he'll never leave me. I'm the best thing he's ever had. Shut up, mate. He's about to get paid in England and score some goals for Arsenal. And Boy, Sterling, sort him out, man. Hey, you're going to sign for us in time for Notting Hill Carnival as well. You can make it happen, allegedly. The Swedish striker spent his holidays alone, making it clear that on his list of priorities, there's room for almost everything except love, which seems doomed. Now, I think the media is doing too much, but just based on the mentality monster stuff from Gyökeres, I'm going to choose to believe this. The romance has cooled, and there'll be no great future for the relationship that worked when Gyökeres was at Sporting and in Portugal. Boy, crazy. And didn't his uncle, I mean, your uncle's a pagan, because didn't the uncle come out and say him and the girlfriend are going to try and keep him in Portugal? They love living there. That worked out. He will be wearing the number 14 for us, people. Keeping up the theme with strikers or wingers or false nines, whatever you would call Gabriel Jesus, Mr. Brazilians. I must admit, I did call on the club to make some harsh and unpopular decisions, but it's always great saying that until it's players you actually want to keep. I did want to see Gyökeres and Jesus together. I do think Jesus could have a role in the squad at least for another year. Let's not forget Bayern Munich when he came on and done the Jinky Majinky. My boy's from Brazil, man. Is what it is. But apparently Andrea Berta is exploring the potential sale of Gabriel Jesus this summer. Clubs in his native country of Brazil have inquired, as have some European clubs. Let's see how this situation develops, people. I mean, exploring doesn't mean something is going to happen. Naturally, that shouldn't be news, because when Berta's come in and he's been given his remit, okay, welcome Berta. We're trying to get Zubamendi over the line. Aito and Edu and everyone involved has kind of done the groundwork. Can you just get that one there through? Can you get some contracts, some new contracts for us? You know, we're trying to do with, you know, Partey, we're trying to keep him. Obviously, madness with him. We don't condone it. Can you pivot towards a Norgard? And there's got to be a list of outgoings, maybe realistic outgoings this summer, next summer, and even in between that. Like, you've got to have looked at Jesus. Like, it's not always about money, but he's got to be there. All, especially the top earners. Are they worth their money? Are they, did you get where I'm going? So this shouldn't really be news. Jesus had to think there. Now, Berta and his recruitment team had to have sat there and gone, you know what? He's injured. We might not be able to flog him, but maybe we can be a bit cute and clever. Do we let him stay for this season because he is a good option in the team? Do we look to sell him in January? Do we wait to see his fitness? Because we have also heard reports of a new contract for him earlier in the summer. What do we do? So it really shouldn't be news. Big up hand of Arsenal, but it shouldn't be a shock to us, is what I'm kind of saying to you lot. Apparently, Flamengo are advancing on a deal for Gabriel Jesus on a 1-year loan with an option to buy obligation. After the player gave the green light to a return to Brazil, it's proposed that Gabriel Jesus' salary is divided equally, 50% by Arsenal, 50% by Flamengo. Fuck it, do that then. 50% is better than 100%. Get a little fee of some sort. They've got an option to buy. They're definitely not going to take us up on that offer. He's recovering from injury, be playing in his homeland, Brazil, where he'd be surrounded by family. Obviously, if he was like 21, I'd believe more in what I'm about to say, but maybe there's the scope of, having a future at Arsenal, maybe putting yourself in the shop window of European clubs. Jesus, I can't lie. If you go back to Brazil, get fit. We're going to need you because Brazil, we are winning the World Cup next year. But after that, you just go. It's over now, isn't it? Like, it's time to go and get money in Saudi. So we have to see. And no matter how it ends, my boy, those first 6 months, smash the live. But the first 6 months from Gabriel Jesus, magical, man. Magical, man. Magical. And big up Zinni as well, man. You know what? You lot's contributions. When we win the Premier League, you lot are not involved. When we win the Premier League, Jesus, Zinchenko, Ramsdale, Tierney, Smith Rowe, Eddie Nketiah. And if I haven't said your name, don't feel any sort of way. You're not going to be part of the celebrations because you weren't here. And I'm not really on that. But your contributions, man. Your contributions. People close to Eze are still confident he'll be an Arsenal player this summer. The players can't believe Arsenal want to focus on outgoings first before going in for him. Please bring me Eze. Like, you see, if you bring me Eze on top of, for me, Zubamendi, I get it. You lot are not gassed as me for Zubamendi. But Gyökeres, Eze, Zubamendi. Bro, Eze, man. Come home, bro. Come home. Seriously. I don't listen. We need to find a scout that said release you, release Andy Cole, and release Harry Kane. On a serious note, though, apparently Arsenal are aiming to swiftly move to secure Eze once the deal for Gyökeres is complete. We're believed to believe that is today. Arsenal are Eze's top choice, and those close to the player are confident a deal will be done in the next few weeks. Now, just because Arsenal are Eze's top choice and we like him, don't mean a deal's going to happen. I don't want to pour water on the Gyökeres thing, because for you lot, he might have been the first choice. Clearly, you could argue Gyökeres was our third choice, because if we was able to get Isak, obviously before all of this stuff with Newcastle and Liverpool, probably don't get Gyökeres. If they weren't acting with Sesko, we'd probably get him. Now, who cares? My point being, what is projected and what actually happens are two very different things. So, as I said earlier, I want Eze. I want Rodrigo. Let's forget Rodrigo. If you can't get Eze, I can't tell you who to buy. But just from what I believe I know of Eze, versatile, showmanship, technical ability, can take his man on, skillers, any other adjectives, drop them in the chat, people. Go and find a player that can do that as well, innit? If you can't get Eze, but bring him home, man. Bring him. Eze, come on. Stop the foolishness. Eze was one of the first videos I did. I was on to you when you was at QPR, Annalise at Reading. Yeah. Arsenal are hoping to agree a fee that comes to 60 million rather than the reported 68. So based on that, if you're Crystal Palace, you want as much peas as you can. Asterisk, if this drags out, it doesn't help Palace or us. But there's an 8 million difference. Nelson, back to South London, son. Although on terms that are also more amendable to Crystal Palace, with suggestions that both clubs will be flexible. Okay, Palace, come on, man. We look after you. I was so angry when Mikel Arteta decided to sell Matt Turner and Rob Holding, who is better than Cannavaro, and Eddie Nketiah. You could argue if we kept Eddie Nketiah, we wouldn't need a new striker. I am very angry if they take Reece Nelson. I think he's the best Highland talent. I think he's a better talent than Miles Lewis-Skelly, than Bukayo Saka, than Ethan Nwaneri. Please don't include Reece Nelson in this deal. Please. So yeah, people. So we have to see. Arsenal's preference would be to sell a player before they move on to the Eze deal. Now, this is what I mean. We want to sell before we can buy. We are not under any PSR issues. We are choosing to maneuver like this, if that makes sense. But it's understood the signing is not contingent on that, which is music to my ears, because last week, what was it? We're only going to move for Rodrigo and Eze if Trossard or Martinelli move on, which tells you that might have been right last week and we might have changed our minds. But we're seeing journalists say bare different things. Nobody knows. And what is being peddled to us normal fans in the papers and what's actually happening in the world of football, no one knows. I wish I could for you lot, but I can't call Berta, I can't call Arteta, I can't call the counterparts at Crystal Palace. So we're relying on this, and it depends what narrative you want. If you don't believe we're going to go for Eze, you're going to just naturally agree with those reports. If you have the hope for Eze like me, this fills you with some level of confidence, people. There's also a possibility Reece Nelson could be included in any deal. Nelson, you want to stay in London? You're a South London boy. Come on, man. Come on, man. You don't need to buy Eddie Nketiah for no reason. I mean, not Eddie Nketiah, Smith Rowe for no reason. I don't know if you really want to hear about this, people, but apparently Arsenal are no longer in the race for Rodrigo, with Real Madrid set to demand at least 85 million for the forward. Arsenal's interest in Eze is ramping up, and they now aim to swiftly move to secure him. The Gunners' preference would be to sell before they move on to a deal, but it's not contingent on that. Once again, Reece Nelson could be included in any such deal. Smash the like button and subscribe if you're not here, people. If you're not here previously, apparently we're confident of reaching a full agreement for Eze. I did cover this in the video I spoke about this morning. Apparently, Arsenal sporting director Berta is prepared to go all in for the 27-year-old. Hey, Berta. Yo, my guy, you know. You need to come carnival. I got you, man. Like, Berta. Let me not count my chickens before they hatch, man, but Eze's current contract at Crystal Palace includes a 68 million release clause. As we all know, Arsenal are likely to pay this fee in installments. As we all know, the Gunners have agreed to pay, apparently, an initial £30 million for the England midfielder. And discussions between the two clubs are now centered around the payment structure of the remaining 38 million. We understand that Crystal Palace want the entire fee paid within 2 years. Fuck it. Oh, mate. Better work your magic, man. Apparently, Eze has already agreed personal terms with Arsenal, and he has informed Palace of his desire to complete a move to the Emirates Stadium before the end of the 2025 summer transfer window. Now, with the greatest of respect to this year, I ain't seen Ornstein, Romano, and of Arsenal say anything about this. So I'll get a bit more excited when that's the case, innit? Apparently, people, there's that. He remains on good terms with the Eagles, Palace's nickname, and will not make things difficult for his current employers. I hope so. But you might have to do what's needed. And I want to keep Palace sweet. These are the relationships I want to keep sweet because they look after us. Matt Turner, Rob Holding, Eddie Nketiah. There's Zinchenko there. There's Fabio Vieira there. Lokonga on loan. Palace look after us. They look after us. So we need to keep them sweet. Yeah, you would have seen. Oh my God, completely off topic. Did you not see his goal yesterday? Did you not see his goal? Please tell me you saw his goal. I know it's pre-season, but it just makes me want you more in it. Was linked with Liverpool, feels like so far beyond. So yeah, we'll have to see, people. Football Transfers has also been informed that Arsenal aren't rushing to finalize the deal, as they understand that Palace want to bring in a replacement before letting Eze depart. All right, you lot take your time, chat to us, but I'm trying to get this done before Notting Hill Carnival, man. If you want to believe stuff, Isak makes transfer demand as Arsenal initiates shock hijack talks. What clickbait have you done us with Hato? You think we're hijacking Hato? I hope it's the case. Reports in Spain about a Dutch player, about what 2 English teams are doing, and this is the initial source of it. I know Mikel Arteta is Spanish. There might be a link there. Really? But apparently Arsenal have initiated talks with Ajax as they look to hijack Chelsea's proposed move for Hato. Really? Where we're focusing on outgoings. So this means Hato won't be done any time soon. Eze is going to cost a lot of money. We've spent something. It's not that we don't have, but do we have in the budget 40, 50, 60 million on another defender where we've just committed for Mascara? I don't know. We know the club like Hato. I definitely like him. I definitely want him at the carpet. I don't believe it. He's eager to join Chelsea. I think this is just nonsense. And there, look, this publication in Spain, they're not even 30. But Arsenal are confident of winning the race for Hato's signature, with the 19-year-old seen as a long-term strategic investment. 111 senior appearances, played centre-back and left-back. Do you know what? You're going to go Chelsea. We've heard that. His agent's spoken, but there's every bit of sense with just staying at Ajax for one more year, you know. It's a shame. Play left back if you're bad at Chelsea. Don't worry. There's only 2 games where you're going to drop clangers. Saka's going to absolutely cook you. In fact, Might even just let the young G's Wanyeri do that. Might not even be him. It might not even be him. I mean, if you had hope for Rodrigo, Arsenal apparently are not willing to pay the high salary that Rodrigo's camp is asking from them. They've made that very clear, apparently. In recent weeks, contact has taken place between William Saliba's camp and Real Madrid, but they were told that he's content at Arsenal and does not want to move before the World Cup. I don't want to move before the World Cup. Doesn't mean I don't want to move at all from Arsenal. Arsenal remain confident the defender will sign a new deal. All right, bro, you can go Real Madrid. Just sign a new deal, bro. Please, just sign a new deal. When it happens, it happens. That needs to be a club record fee for a defender. It needs to be hitting Van Dijk settings, if I'm honest. So we'll have to see. Isak. Eze going to be our last signing? Maybe one more. Outgoings dependent. Good point, DG. Hato to Chelsea makes me look at Calafiori differently, if only. Have you seen Leao versus Liverpool? I've seen the goal. Get Hato, sell Zinni. I don't know, man. I don't think we're looking to allocate 35 to potentially 50 million, whatever it will be for Hato, man. DG, we will get Eze and someone else after, but we need to let go of the dead weight. Reece, Zinni. But even the Zinni thing, I know people don't want to hear it, and I don't want to attack Zinni. People like Zinchenko, we need to move on more than you need to move on, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not saying he don't want to play football. I'm not saying he's not happy to play football. But what I said this before, what if Zinchenko is looking at it like this? Because you got to remember, this ain't FIFA. Like, these are human beings. One, my family is cool here, and I'm cool here. In terms of a working environment, I'm clearly a decent member of the squad. The manager likes me. Obviously, I'm not playing the amount of football I want to play, but I'm cool. Like, living in London, I've been here for a number of years. I'm an Arsenal fan. My family, my missus, my kids, they're going to school in London. Everything is kind of cool, really. Maybe if I wait a year and run out my deal, they know I'm going to have to move on, but it's like a year to prepare my family for such, rather than, I don't know, if they accept a bid from Saudi and they have to go, you're uprooting to Saudi Arabia or Italy or Spain or maybe back to Ukraine or wherever have you. Then you got to remember, he might say, boom, I'm not getting 100 grand a week anywhere else. Football career short, have to make money in life. I'm running down my deal so that I'm more attractive to other offers. What if he's looking at it rightly or wrongly? He would, no irony intended, but he might be a bit deluded in what if he says, oh, right, you know what? We had bare injuries last season. Maybe the gaffer has learned that I need to rotate. I need to give people another opportunity. We're probably going to play about 60 games. Maybe he's going to play me in midfield. Lewis Skelly can't play every week. Calafiori might get injured. Maybe there's game time for me there. What if Arsenal accept an offer and he don't want to go there? What if Arsenal accept an offer and he wants to go there, but the wages aren't making sense? We're relying on him a bit. So this is what I mean, to a degree. And you got to kind of break down the brackets of outgoings. There's people that pass their sell-by date. Then there's probably the Martinellis, the Kai Havertz, your Umin and Arin around. But you kind of, with them kind of players there, like, you're kind of relying on them needing to move on. It's all fun and games saying sell Zinni, sell Martinelli, but for reasons just discussed, the cookie might not crumble that way necessarily. Hato is another timber type of player. I do wonder if he's going to play left back or centre back for Chelsea. Now, obviously, nobody cries when two right-footed centre halves play together. So I don't know why we always cry when it's two left-footers, but surely it's a left back thing. And I don't know what that means for Cucurella. I don't really care for what it means for Chelsea. I'll take Eze over Rodrigo. Rodrigo is a hot and cold player, inconsistent. It's true, and I'm not against it, but Eze is going to be under the microscope. With the greatest of respect to Palace, man, I'm not watching Palace like that. People are not watching Palace like that. Big up Palace, and we will watch it if our teams are playing them or it's on TV. We're going to be watching Eze every minute of every game. The world is going to be looking at him. Respectfully to Crystal Palace, things you might have, big fish in a small pond type stuff, things you might have been praised for at Palace, we might be moved by our Arsenal, but we're not necessarily going to rate you for it. So I don't think that's fair. And to be fair, Rodrigo has clutch moments, man. I'd rather Gordon than Leao and Rodrigo reach. You're moving mad. I don't know. Big up Anthony Gordon. I'm having Rodrigo. I mean, I've been quite critical on Leao, but he's drippy in it. Rodrigo is better than what we have. We don't need Hato now, so why spend in a couple of years? There'll be another one. That's also true. Lookman is available for 50 mil. Seems like he's going Inter based on reports. I'd take Hato as well, my guy. Facts DG, there's many other things that contribute to selling of players, i.e. Gyökeres and his agent giving up money. And I don't blame football fans, because I'm not saying I know all of this, but we're not exposed to that. We don't know about this. I always say one thing that would entertain me, not that I would know, is I would love to know about the signings that did not happen, not just for Arsenal, but everyone else, because we don't know. There might have been talks for this player and that player, and it didn't happen. I'd love to know the signings that teams thought they were going to get, and it didn't happen, if that makes sense. Nicholas Pepe wearing the 1990-2000 home kit on his Snapchat story. Nice to see he's finally making the right decisions. There's a reason Real Madrid are not playing Rodrigo. I've been screaming Leao over Rodrigo. I'm not gonna lie, I'm taking Rodrigo over Leao. I won't lie, I am taking Rodrigo over Leao. Hato from Chelsea to Arsenal 2026. We have a good relationship with them. Yeah, to be fair, we're gonna get Cole Palmer, Caicedo, and Hato probably when they're 32. We are underrating Zinni. Zinni could have a role, but it's a myth now, bro. The only thing I think busses Zinni is I want a left back, and I think the club would have signed the left back. If you got Hato, that's your guy, innit? The club might say, you know what? Pardon me, we'll use you. You're an option there, innit, for a year at the very least. And then we'll slap that on the list next season. Like I already know that for me, next summer, we'll hot take 2026. I'll say it off the bat now. Like centre mid is required, left back is required. So yeah. Help us win something, then you can go to Madrid. Summer 2026, Saliba might be out of here. We need to win things. Exactly. Because we've seen Cristiano Ronaldo and Trent Alexander-Arnold win everything and then go to Madrid. With us, it'd be different because I wouldn't say you haven't reached your full potential, but you're reaching your potential. You're doing well, but you're not lifting nothing. And not only are you a good player, and you're not an academy player, but you was a young man, teenager to a man now. You've been here. It feels like you're kind of that. There was a point where it looked like he could easily go. Remember, like there was that weird little first 6 months of the season. He was nowhere near the first team. Then he went on loan, and there was the whole stuff with the agent. We'll have to see. Get Belemba, Eze, Leao, sell Jesus, Zinni, Nelson, Vieira. Belemba, that's setting you back 70 odd million. We're not doing that to this season. Leao, you never know, but it don't seem like he's a priority. Bring Eze to the carpet. That Igor Paxal guy's going Leeds, apparently. Sell Zinni. I hear it, man. I just brought the new Arsenal pre-match shirt for Carnival. Everybody's going to be wearing it. It looks nice, isn't it? I know the exact one you're talking about. Rodrigo was always going to be a stretch. Berta at Carnival. He deserves it. I like that. I'm copying that. Bertanomics. We'll give you credit, but Bertanomics, I like that. I like that. 250 likes. Can we get to 300? Big up you lot who have hit the like button, though. Bertanomics. I fuck with it. Nelson to Palace just sounds right. I can't lie. It's a South London boy. Go over there, man. And then we pray Nelson. I'm not saying he's going to be amazing, but it'd be nice to see him reach his potential, man. He just needs a clean run. Maybe even put a sell on and buyback clause just to cover your bases. Hinging is crazy. I'd be making up words all the time. Mr. Tranquillo. DG, do you think Berta has a plan B left wing option? I'd get Eze and the next best left winger we can get. But I think Madueke is the left winger, unfortunately. I think Kimani, you've answered it there. I think you've got your left winger. Like, I think Madueke is that. I think Eze is just too good to not get involved with, if that makes sense. I don't think we're going for someone that is a left winger. I mean, we're not going to get Rodrigo, but Rodrigo's the exception in that, right, you're a quality player. You might be available. We all know how that one's going to work. Gutted it hasn't worked out for him. Those injuries have ruined him. It was just like the RB was supposed to be the next Vieira. Injuries just ruined him. Eze almost scored goal of the season, and it's only pre-season. Zubamendi going to be our most important player over the duration of the season for me. Zubamendi's going to change our world. I'll hold my licks. If I get it wrong, I get it wrong. But I'm telling you, lot, Zubamendi is going to change our lives, man. You support Brazil, I support England, and I live in the US. Big up you, man, Marlon. But yeah, Brazil, man. It's a Brazil thing. DG, you lot have to win the league this season. No excuses. We've had that fucking about 3 years, mate. Like, I hope we win it. And people better be throwing Chelsea into that. People better be throwing City into that. People better be throwing Liverpool into that. Talent-wise, we keep him. Injury-wise, we should have never signed him in the first place. Burr would be the one if he gets an injured player, 50% on the books. What is the time over there in the UK right now? I've just seen this at a few moments later, but it is 2:53. Wow, you lot harsh. I guess this is when I was speaking about the Jesus news. I'd have liked to have gone to the Emirates Cup game, but those prices are going to be sky high to see Glock 14. Just go to the Prem games when the proper stuff kicks off, man. Although Brighton already sold Pedro, they know with Matoma there, they'll have another Pedro by December. But man said women come and go, keep it pushing your Gyökeres. Trust. Big up the women out there. Hand of Arsenal said announcement today. We hope so. Big up the Australians, man. One more player this opening. Who would you pick? Eze. I want Eze. I want Eze, man. DG, what's your X handle? Let me give you a follow. Deluded Gooner 04. If you don't know what the 04 is for, then you're in the wrong place. Happy times, good times, good times. Timber is still injured. We are one injury to Ben White away from another crisis. Plus, I'm not convinced on Lewis Skelly and Calafiori in the left. I wouldn't mind another Tomiyasu type player. But DG, what do you think of the legendary non-win thing? He was trying to say Victor stuff was a smokescreen. Now he's saying we have to go for Isak as well as potentially getting Glock 9. I don't know who that is, but whoever that is, we're not going to sign GYOKERES and Isak in it, so it's neither here nor there. It's a fantastic conversation, but it's neither here nor there. I'd love to be proven wrong. If we wake up and Isak and GYOKERES, then I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what to tell you lot, but yes, it's a redundant conversation. Would you take Tap Sober? Can you see us getting Rodrigo and Eze? Nope, not both. Just put Eze in the bag, man. Raw Spurs drew with Wickham. Crazy. Kepa is decent, yes, and he's good in pens. DG Rayo or Prime De Gea for Spain. Prime De Gea. Everton in for Fifana. What the Leon lad? Crazy. DG, were you born in 2004? Nope. Eze goes to church in Bex in South. He told the pastor that my mum goes to that he's going to Arsenal. I hear you. I don't doubt that, but everybody's mums, dads, PT, dry cleaner, the woman that worked in Greg's can do them kind of stories. Eze just signed for us, man. And you can tell everyone you're going for Arsenal. Arsenal and Palace need to agree stuff. You need to pass medicals and that. DG Fabregas or Arteta, who has the chance of becoming a more successful manager, in his opinion? Define success, because there's many ways to describe success. It could just be over trophies. It could be about consistently improving. It could be about the project. It could be about the conviction in your ideas. It could be about your ability to galvanize and uplift people around you and truly reflect whatever team you manage DNA. Define success. Because to me, success is just some man or woman or young and old person that has every reason to give up, but gets out of bed trying. So it's a very simple question on the face of it, but it's also very, complex. So I'm not too sure, but they're two very good managers with unique qualities that I think both teams would be lucky to have, and they both have Arsenal DNA in them. The 04 went over, man. Said it's crazy. PR answer. I got it in the bag, man. DG, who is the better academy player, Cesc Fabregas or Saka? Well, Cesc wasn't from our academy, but Cesc. I was wrong, said Jesus Flamengo 2026, 27. All the above trophies and ideas. I'm not going to lie, man. I'm a big fan of Cesc. I think Cesc is going to be wavy. Como's a team Como, Monaco, they're two non-Arsenal related teams I'll be trying to watch live. And they'll probably make for two good football manager streams, if I'm honest. We need Eze. He's unpredictable, carries the ball, shoots outside the box, takes on players and free kicks. Big up Triggered Much. What a name. After we get Eze, we are done. They're going to concentrate on outgoings after that. I think Eze is the last one, but I think they're concentrating before all of that, if I'm honest. That's a big part of us dealing with Chelsea, I believe. Players already living in London makes things a bit easier. Doesn't change how we feel about it. Again, I would reiterate, having Glock 14 is a bonus if we have some pacey wingers like Bakayo, who cost £25 million. We instead got Madueke. Eze is a good player, but not pacey. I hear you with the not pacey thing, but I'm sorry, but Eze's got burners. I know he's not looked at as some speed demon, but yeah, Martinelli can just be demoted to the bench. You can be used for that. Eze's a baller. Just make him do baller stuff. Leao is the Portuguese Martinelli. But remember to join tomorrow's watch along for the Arsenal game. DG Nation, come on. I hear that. Gordon's quality. He is a good player. But over Leao and who was the other one? I can't remember. Over Leao and Rodrigo? No, safe. I'm having them. Is Eze only enough after seeing how other clubs are moving? I mean, you always want more in it. Like, I don't want to be greedy, but if we rock up with GYOKERES and Eze, I think they're two good signings. I think we've got a stronger case. And it might not be in terms of personnel what's missing, but it does feel like you need a bit more, if I'm honest. Or you'd like a bit more. Yes, says Fabregas is considered an Arsenal Academy grad. Did he come through Halen? Or did we get him from La Masia? It's a Banduli one. If he counts, then says. Antonio Nusa is a baller, and we should absolutely be offering Trossard or Martinelli to Leipzig to bring him dreaming. Dream chasing with the offering, them players being offered. Big up DG, we do need more fire. I hear it. And I couldn't tell you what is the more we need, but you would. What year you make that handle, you thought you was going to be the difference. Someone that doesn't get the 04, as in 2004 reference. I love when you lot reveal yourselves, you know. DG, why do we always sell players when their stocks are low? Look at Zinni and Jesus now. Not much value coming back. We should have sold Jesus last summer. Maybe now is the right time to cash in on Nelly. Potentially. We need to get better at that. We need to get better at that. Because there was when I was just reading your question, the first thing I thought of was Ainsley Maitland-Niles. There was a point where Everton and Wolves, they bidded like 30 million. We kept him. Obviously, he ended up leaving for free. Rodrigo, Gordon, Leal. La Masia, Helen, we have the right to claim it. Or was it 04 for the Invincibles? Come on, man, you're better than that. You know this. I can tell you, DG, it's creativity we're missing. I hear it. Big up, DG. Why is nobody talking about we saw Brentford? He's a gunman, just like in Burmo, and he plays in multiple positions up front, being aggressively linked with Newcastle. We let Martinez go for 8 million. Now Aston Villa want 30 million for him. Nah, we couldn't have got 8 million for Emi Martinez. Surely that's cap. It's a serious source. Bring me Bacola. Noni is rapid. I just care about decision making. I don't care how fast you are or how slow you are now. Are you going to get me goals and assists? And that goes for all the attackers. Gyökeres, you know what you need to do. Madueke, come and prove everyone wrong. We focus more on the value they bring us. I think we're always hopeful players will come in. You're not alone, man. That's all we can do. All we can do is live in hope, man. There's not too much that we can do in that regards. 269, can we get to 300 people? Musk can get to 300. We're flirting. We're flirting. DG, Arsenal need Bacola, everything we need. Yeah, but PSG don't want to sell him. I know you can flirt, you can offer, but yeah. Yeah, I thought we sold Emi Martinez for about 20 odd million quid. No, forgive us, because you said academy. I'm inclined to believe, hey, Leno was 8 million to Fulham. See, now them, I know we need to get rid of Leao, but see, I mean, Leno, but these kind of things need to stop. '04, we won the title last year. You made the handle in 012, thinking it would happen again. Swear, you're a mind reader. Tell me what Berta's thinking. Run up the likes, people, 300 likes target. Is Madueke coming back for the Emirates Cup? You'd imagine the minute we land back in London, obviously they're probably going to have a day or two off, jet lag and whatnot, but you'd imagine that's Madueke's career beginning at Arsenal. So what, the 2 games, one in the Emirates Cup, we got Villarreal and Bilbao, he'll be part of that, isn't it? And it's time to get going. DG, are all your eggs in the Gyökeres basket? Yeah, because there ain't nothing else, and I like Gyökeres. Bacola is a good shout left wing, makes Madueke back up to Saka, but how much is Bacola costing? Big up, bro. Any events you stepping out to next month? I don't know what events. Nah, I don't go events. I'm a homebody, man. I just stay at home, man. There ain't nothing to do. I think there's something called Notting Hill Carnival. I think London say it's a cultural kind of like landmark event. I might be there. I get anxiety. I don't know. I'm just gonna be here, man. I don't know. If you see me, it's AI. Odds on Saka outscoring Gyökeres. Oi, I want to say it's evenly matched. Hope we can do that. Arteta, free up the shackles from our attackers. I'm honestly worried Gyökeres will get played left wing and Havertz centre. Arteta is obsessed with Havertz. Well, then it's on you, Arteta. If you do that, make sure there's a parade in Islington, innit? Noni's not got elite speed, but he's very persistent and has the physical endurance. Bacola would be the one, but dream chasing. Oh, sorry, I saw that already. We need the owners to heavily invest. Liverpool won and invested massively. I hear that, but I can't say the owners haven't invested. And I want to pick my words wisely. I can't say they haven't invested. You're about to spend X amount on your career. Like, they've invested under Mikel Arteta. Like, would you be satisfied if after Eze we don't go after anyone else? I'm accepting. I couldn't tell you who to go for, but it does feel like we need a bit more. I'm having Leao. I just don't think we're going for Donny. I honestly think Gyökeres will bang more goals than Isak and Haaland, Berta masterclass. I hope so. But Berta's done his masterclass. He's going to have to be on Arteta to free up the shackles, and obviously Gyökeres. Arteta has a massive job this season. He needs to release the shackles for real. Have you got the pre-match yet? No, I don't, Reece, you know. No, I don't. But yeah, I definitely don't want to see Gyökeres. Of course, there might be some weird in-game management. We might have to do that, but I'm not trying to see Gyökeres benched for Havertz for benching sake. I'm not trying to see him start left wing. Like, I'm not against doing it if there's little crazy tactics in that, but myth, man. DG, who contradicts more, Arteta or Amorim? Both, all managers. They're all liars. They're all truth tellers. They're all hypocrites. DG, what's your favourite Ethan goal so far since playing in the first team? City, man. City, or was it, I want to say Preston, that screamer. I'd say Man City and then Preston. One of my best moments, is going to sound dumb, yeah, but I just remember Ranieri having a long shot away at Inter Milan. I don't know why I remembered that. When them shackles are gone, I see 1-2s. Be lovely. Liverpool lost 4-2 to Milan. It's pre-season, man. The main thing's fitness. I wonder, for those of you that are watching that, are they doing the whole penalties for no reason? Which I find mad. Big up the international fans or fans that have travelled out there, but like, what's the point? We weren't that bad. It's just about fitness. Like, cool, if you lost in the league or the Champions League, it means something. It don't mean anything, really. Of course, no one's happy with a loss and etc. And agendas have to agenda. It's about time people ran some agendas on Liverpool, but myth. They got a leaky defence. Hopefully that messes them up. No pens. So why is our team pens? Paul put out half a team as well. That Rio U is cold. Liverpool, if he doesn't make it at Liverpool, Liverpool did something wrong, man. They did something absolutely wrong. But on that note, though, people, if the GYOKERES stuff is announced, you can rest assured there'll be vids. The transfer news part of this, I'll clip it up. As usual, it's always a pleasure to be here talking with you lot, whether it's transfers or just normal footy talk. Make sure your notification bells are on. Enjoy your weekend, man. I'm sure you don't want to hear my boring voice, but nonetheless, big up you lot. You lot stay safe, stay blessed, look after your families in that. And we link up again soon, man. Mikel Arteta, some people in my chat have said it's not enough if you only sign Eze. Let's keep signing the Icy Freeze then.
Against this right back, Charlie, definitely.